Greetings, grand risings, sending blessings to you, replay visitors, as well as to you on whatever day that you are coming into this space, this container, while we wait for family and friends to join us this morning. I'm going to go ahead and anchor in the energies of the East, the South, the West, and the North. And as we anchor in these energies, we want to connect into our hearts. And as we connect into our heart, we want to ground down into the earth, our home, the core of the earth, connecting to our earth from the feet and the energy that flow beneath us as we walk, as well as up and above and out into our source where we come from. So as we call those energies, I also extend my heart to you. And I pray that you are in a position where you can at minimum be open to feeling my heart and us getting into a groove together. I'm thankful for those people who have been joining me regularly for this journey to wholeness. It has been teaching me much. And I pray that it is being beneficial to you, and that it will continue to be beneficial as we revisit these aspects of ourselves in our journey. So much of our journey is revisiting things. Like, we don't just get one. Sometimes in our society, there's this idea that, aren't you over that? I have these crazy voices that I do to kind of evoke particular types of thought patterns and mentalities. So flow with me, because I'm going to do it. But aren't you over that? You know, what is this thing? Didn't we already have a spring? Didn't we already have a summer? I hope this sounds ridiculous. Didn't we already have a winter? Like, I'm over this. Like, why do we have to have a winter every year? Like, why do we have to have an every year? I'm being really extra. But it's a way to talk to you about how we begin to accept that life is going to bring us repeat opportunities to take certain levels deeper. I found myself that when I recognized the repetitive nature of certain kinds of experiences, that I knew that I was here to master a particular thing, a particular kind of relationship, a particular kind of coming through. I must be needing to master it, like, so that I can teach from it, so that it no longer shakes me, so that when I walk through it, and so people who themselves may need that particular medicine could find it in me. I just happen to carry a lot of different types of medicine. And I don't carry them all. I don't want them all. That's too much difficulty. I'm just grateful for what I carry, and I'm grateful for you choosing to spend your time with me. So yesterday, I introduced to you a force of the divine feminine, Akhilendeshwari. And the energy of Akhilendeshwari is she who is never not broken. And I believe that that 10 marker is really elevating us into a new conversation, that she is awakening to us a new possibility, that because we can recognize that our journey to healing, our journey through life, is one in which we will constantly be coming undone. When we look at nature, the snake is one of the best examples I can give in terms of shedding its skin. Same snake, new skin. When we consider the fact that every cell in our body regenerates over 7 years. In 7 years, you will have the same body, new body. Same body, new body. And it's this very interesting dichotomy of being able to hold two thoughts, two feelings, two vibrations, two beliefs at the same time. That not only are we the same, but we are every day different. So Akhilendeshwari talked to us about moving through our brokenness. Talk with us about what happens when we make the commitment towards going through as opposed to sidestepping and avoiding. Very few of us want to engage in the challenges. Very few of us. I get it. I don't want them. I just have learned to accept them. And in my acceptance, all the things that we've spoken about over these last few days, especially the practice, like me showing up here consistently, is building up my momentum towards being able to do this type of work. It's building up my momentum of being able to sit and share and receive and give and receive and give just because I chose to show up. That's the practice. But the pieces, let's talk about when we're in pieces, when we're broken. Anyone who has known me or followed me for some time over my years, they would know about the fact that I resonate very strongly to the energy known as kintsugi. Kintsugi is a Japanese principle or a Japanese art form where we take things that are broken and we put them back together using gold or other precious minerals. But in this, for the sake of this conversation, we're going to just speak about the process of using gold to put your pieces back together. And for me, that gold that I've used to put myself back together, I'm broken now. I'm in pieces. There's parts of me that I will carry my scars, both the physical scars as well as the energetic and spiritual scars. Those cracks are where the light escapes. And I chose to not put myself back together with the same stories that broke me. It's very easy to put ourselves back together with that narrative, that voice. We've talked about it. We've talked about it in our conversations. I chose to put myself back together with better stories, with truer stories, with more whole stories, with stories that fed my soul and that began to become true no matter the situation that I found myself in. When I began putting myself back together with stories that were true, no matter what, it made all the difference. Because I did learn that love was a superpower, and it was enough light in the dark to help pull me through. Sometimes there was something blocking me, my ability to see that love. And I would have to trust that just like the sun, there was that was shining on the other side of the clouds in my sky. Shining on the other side of the clouds that were blocking my view. Sometimes I would have to dig deep down to find the love underneath it, especially in the heart, especially in affairs of love and affairs of the heart, where you've been open and vulnerable and now you are feeling devastated in pieces on the floor. One of the things that I've always had to learn how to do was find my part. That's what Akilan Deshwade taught, or teaches. And I realized that it's been a practice that I've lived. Someone who's always willing to own their part, but also who had to learn how to know what's not hers. I had to learn how to say, but that there, right there, that's not mine. I allowed it. That was my part. I gave agreement by consent. I gave agreement by inaction. I gave agreement by not saying no and holding my no. In fact, I spent today on these social media streets simply affirming no, 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 nah, never, niche. Like every way that I could say no, I spent time honoring it because I needed to get power to my no. Many of us have not been able to get power to our no, and that's something we have to bring back in. But this is an important part of our journeying through the energy of being broken. If we can accept it, if we can accept that we are all and never will not be broken. Like there are parts of me that I carry, and as we grow, we find we have other little things like, what is all of this? This is the feeling of being alive is what it is. And so we have to lean into the energy of frequency. 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 What energy will you align with? What energy will you align with? I said frequency and the computer glitched a little bit. That was interesting. However, that being said, frequency. Your thoughts become your resonant point, and the frequency that you hold here in this magnetic and electric heart. Our heart is magnetic and electric. It receives by its magnetism, and it broadcasts with its electricity. We constantly are doing this. And if you find that you say regularly, this always happens, and I'm always, it's a frequency, which is a part of why I've done and did a lot of the music that I've created. A lot of my songs outside of sound healing have been about how I put myself back together through very difficult spaces in the midst of some of the truest pain that I would not wish on anyone. I learned how to carry a particular frequency in my tone and in how I wish to go through it. I became deeply grateful. I just became deeply thankful for the people who were loving on me. And it was my commitment to be loving to them, even if it was simply my commitment to be loving to me. Love became my frequency. For some people, it might be laughter. Your frequency might be laughter. You might do better by laughing at stuff. And I got to get through this. It's hard, so I have to crack jokes because it's just easier to crack jokes sometimes as I'm going through this. And that connecting even with that frequency of laughter may get you through. Sometimes it's the frequency of, like I said, gratitude is a frequency. Gratitude itself, just simply being grateful, may be enough to allow you to move through to the next elevation, to the next day, to the next moment, where it's not so heavy, it's not so sharp, you don't feel so broken. You gather enough strength by that frequency, enough light can come back into you. You can be restored to a higher space. You can feel yourself as yourself, and knowing that you're gonna likely cry. Like if you have a story that says you cannot cry and crying is weakness, well, it's going to be hard to get through some of this stuff, because our tears are like how we clean the windows of our soul. Can't remember who shared that with me. It's not mine. I got it from someone. But our tears are how we clear the windows of our soul. We bring out this mucus. We bring out this snot. Like, where is it coming from? In us. It just pours and we get it out. A lot of times you find yourself coughing up stuff that's lodged in your lungs. In spiritual tenets, our energetics, we will say that our lungs are where we hold our grief. Our lungs are where we hold our grief. And so when I think about this virus that many of us are dealing with and journeying through, and how it's affecting our lungs and scar tissue, I'm someone whose lungs were deeply impacted. My lungs were deeply impacted. My friend, my sister says tears are also contain stress hormones that we are releasing from our bodies. Look at science. Look at science. Thank you so much. We need to let those stressors go. And us holding on to them keeps them in us. And then our body responds and reacts to it. So frequency. A frequency of understanding. I've been told, or I'm recognizing, that a lot of the conversations we're about to begin having on our journey to wholeness is going to be around some different types of understanding around energy and energetics And it's very important for us to lean into energy and energetics. The computer age has helped us to understand the idea of downloads and uploads. It's helped us understand the idea of capacity. It helps us to understand what happens when your RAM, the anxiety, there's too much going on, and your computer shuts down. We can understand that because we've talked about us being like human. Declining a call that was coming through. Sorry about that. So frequency is about tone and vibration. Where are you vibrating at? And part of why I use love, gratitude, joy, laughter, acceptance, surrender, all of these tools allow me to have a particular type of resonance inside of me. And usually that resonance will pull me through my brokenness, my clouds. If anything, I learned, I went through a journey in the dark. And in that journey in the dark, where you did everything in the dark. And I've had it where I had to do it without realizing that's what I was doing. And then at another point, I did it consciously, where we agreed to live inside of this space. And I'll tell you, one of the most mind-altering experiences is when I began to see in the dark. When I could feel in the dark. When I became light in the dark. And I understood the impact of my own frequency, who I was being. And it allowed me to shed some things and now bring this back through to you today. I started this journey on this idea of wholeness. If anyone, my people who are keeping up with me at the very beginning of this, as well as before this, I moved through a very difficult space of release and purging and pain and heartbreak and finding my own part and being devastated by what was in me that kept me from experiencing love and witnessing love and seeing love and knowing love and being like, and I did that to love and I'm love. And I was, really in a mess about myself. But it also helped me to clear some old stuff. As I began going through that, I've cleared so much old stuff. And light that was shining a long time ago has finally broken through again around a vibration and frequency for a more innocent love. It's really intense. My friend says, my frequency is fire, transformation, fire. That's real. Because I have come to terms with the energy of the never not broken. Akilan Deshware calls to me. She falls for my now. She falls for me. I understand now. I understand that I've been walking out her path or her calling, her vibration as an aspect of my own embracing of what it means to be a divine feminine being. What it means to be a divine feminine being is to understand with great compassion that we are never not broken. So in our going through, I've accessed the superpower of love and grace and guidance. And for this, I'm thankful. I absolutely understand fire because I will rip things. My fire is real. I got fire. But yes, even in the dark, our footsteps are guided by, again, frequency. We don't know what today will be. Do you know what today is going to be? I don't know. But I have an idea that, you know how they talk about you get up on the wrong side of the bed? When we get up on the wrong side of the bed, then that becomes the frequency we might carry for the day. And it's been said, you got to get back in bed and start it over again. To me, that's the reset. There are a lot of ways you can reset, or you can tune yourself. That's where the sound comes in. Like anybody soundtrack their life, they put on a song, and that song just like, yo, this song just gets me right. I'm ready for my day. There's a beautiful song by this group. It just popped into my head. If you need a sound, if you need a song track to get you and get your mind right, there's a group called the Sounds of Blackness. Yes, the Sounds of Blackness. And a song called You Can Win as long as you keep your head to the sky. If you've never heard that before, go ahead and put it on, because the energy of it will wake up something in your cells. It will invigorate your bones. You'll be like, yes. And the idea of going forward through the darkness, I just feel the light coming here. You got to know how to do those things. So bringing that song in, it just showed up to share with you today. The Sounds of Blackness. You can win as long as you keep optimistic. That's the name. Optimistic. Thank you. The name of the song is Optimistic. So, frequency. What we align with becomes how we journey through these moments. A lot of us believe that we are justified in our pain, and you are. You didn't do anything to cause it. Much of it is true. You just had this thing happen to you and you're upset about it. I get it. This thing has completely derailed your life. I can relate. And it's still going to be our responsibility to choose the energy that we will align with, the frequency that we will align with as we move through that. So I think that's enough today about frequency. We're going to be moving deeper into conversations around energy and energetics, because it's important that we understand it. Many of us are going to be waking up. Many of us are going to be having experiences we've never had before. And you're going to need a safe place to begin expressing, because you might be the first of your friends awakening. Or they might be coming through changes that they're unable to share to anyone, because you used to pick at people or talk about people and their woo-woo, their weirdness, their I don't get that stuff. And now you're starting to get it. A lot of us are getting it. And as we're getting it, as we're waking up, as we're coming online, it's like things are just like somebody snatching the blanket up off of you while you were sleeping in bed. And it's like, let's go. And in your body, you feel this energy of, it's time to go. In fact, some people might feel an energy of, I've been wasting my time, or whatever that feels like. Frequency. What frequency are you choosing, aligning to? What things can you do to support your frequency? What kind of foods can you eat? People can you be around? Colors do you need? Practices that are important for you to manage as a part of your daily walk. That's how we begin to access frequency. And it becomes values. For me, my frequency work has become my value, what I value in my life. Being of beneficence, not bringing harm to people, acknowledging and atoning when I do. I had a thought come to mind today about someone that I need to reach out to and just say, I'm not certain if you remember this, but when we were kids, this thing happened. And I want to make sure that I speak to you about it, because it may not be anything, but in my brokenness, in my darkness, it showed up in my prayers. And I want to acknowledge it if you need that. But I want to make sure that I give that to you. So things are going to show up. What are you choosing to be? What values are you holding? What frequency are you holding? Your values become your frequency. Your values become your frequency. Yesterday we talked about being self-aware. Self-aware is what will help you to begin to unravel and pull out those stories that keep us broken. keep you broken, keep me broken, keep us in the struggle. The more of those stories, those terrible thoughts of what those people are or what I am, that if it don't feel good, then it's probably not a good one. And if it don't feel good because you're just crying and going through, that's different. Sometimes it won't feel good. But let's bring out our text. We've been reading through this book, Spiritual Growth, Being Your Higher Self by Sanahara Ama. So I'm going to go ahead and see what bibliomancy, if any of you do this, you pick up a book and you just flip through and you say, this is what I need to read today. So we're talking about frequency, and we're going to see where Spirit would have us stop today. I'm in between. So this is the meditation on the work we've been dealing in around going through the void. The void keeps showing up. And I think that that's important to recognize. The void keeps showing up because we are in a space where many of us are changing, shifting very fast. And so the void is showing up to let us know how to move through this time of great flux, this time of great earth changes. Let's see. So this is a meditation on going through the void. The purpose of this meditation is to go into the void, to expand beyond all previous limits and become the unlimited being you are. Take a deep breath. Mentally relax your body and start by imagining you are traveling through a tunnel. At the end of the tunnel is the void. As you start through the tunnel, you go past each of the colors of the rainbow. Feel each color as you are surrounded by it. And notice its effects on your energy. These are beautiful, perfect colors. You travel through the red, then orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, in that order. And as you continue along the tunnel, you come to the end and go into the void. You have just left the color of violet. All colors are gone, and you are passing through an area of no color. You are beginning to experience the nothingness of the void. With nothing all around you, you get a sense of your own energy. What is your energy like? Let yourself and all of your energy systems fade and dissolve into this nothingness. Silence is all around you. See how long and with how much of your awareness you can sense this nothingness. As you dissolve into the nothingness, imagine a wonderful thing is happening. You are becoming an enormous, infinite energy. Your boundaries are falling away and your energy is expanding at every level into the void. All possibilities exist for you in this void. Feel the richness of who you are. This is a place where anything and everything is possible, and you experience yourself as an infinite being. Now bring this expansive reality of the void back with you into your present reality. Imagine you are coming back into your current reality as a new person. You might symbolize this by seeing yourself as a beautiful butterfly emerging from your cocoon and spreading your wings, or as a flower unfolding its petals. You are charged with new possibilities, higher energy, and an expanded awareness of who you are. Frequency, brothers and sisters. The importance of surrendering and connecting into what frequency we will choose. I choose, I choose, I choose. I choose, I choose. Yeah. my feelings. I know myself. I feel my feelings. You are the light. You're held in the light. Choose now. Possibilities reign to be new again, again and again. Grow, 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 feel, feel, feel. Express, express, grow, 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 feel, feel, feel. Express, express. You are whole, you are complete. You can never be outside of love. You can never be outside of love. Thank you for being with me on this beautiful Friday as we interact with day 11 on our journey. Day 11, and we're dealing in frequency. I bless you from my heart that you will find your way in frequency and alignment. It is my prayer for you that you will align with frequency. And I just send you blessings from my heart. Take care. Till next time. Till tomorrow. Blessings.